Yes, people. It's Jacob on the one up top. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday. I've just got myself back from an eventful and pleasant church service. And yeah, I've had a good Sunday so far. I don't normally do this, but I thought I'd do a video because yesterday was a bit of a madness, wasn't it? You know what I mean? A lot going on in one match. I wasn't really going to do it, but, I woke up in the morning and I was getting all sorts of messages saying Tottenham are cheats. Tottenham are, always getting their own way. Tottenham are paying officials. And for me, I was like, all right. And it got to the point where for me, I've made videos. If you follow, you already see that I made a video saying we got lucky. But of course I went mad. But some of these Liverpool fans that are messaging me, it's like I'm not supposed to celebrate because the referees made mistakes. Like I've said before, one thing that is mad is that people that know me properly know that if there's a Premier League team other than Tottenham that I'm all right with, it's actually Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Like, my uncle's brought me up, my uncle in particular brought me up. The reason why I'm left-footed is because he was trying to turn me into the next John Barnes. But I watched Gaza play and, and I've had a few friends at school that supported Tottenham and that changed my mind. But I've always got a respect for Liverpool. If the same thing happened in that game and it was against Arsenal or Man United or Chelsea or West Ham, I would be taking the absolute biscuit, regardless of it being unfair. But for me, I've never really had it before, but I had Liverpool fans on Facebook, Twitter, my WhatsApp, saying some mad things. I thought, I'm going to do a video. Now, it's not a video to do a Tottenham versus Liverpool and, get all aggressive and stuff. It was just, for me, I just want to find some balance because whether it be Tottenham or anything else, I'm a football fan first and I'll call it out when it's fair. When I play football, there'll be times I'm like, look, that was a penalty, man. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to, I don't see the point of cheating. I get why people would want to do it, but cool. So, I'll talk about it in a bit more of its entirety because yesterday, I lost my head, because we never beat Liverpool. So if someone come to me yesterday and said, right, Jake, how do you want to beat Liverpool? How do you want to do it? Do you want to play nice football? Do you want to play counter-attack? Do you want to mix it up? Do you want to... I'll be like, I don't care. Don't care. I could not care. Like I said, the last time we beat Liverpool was when Lovren had an absolute stinker. And it was probably the worst game he's ever had in his career, one of them. And luckily, we was on the end of that. The time before that, I remember us beating Liverpool at Anfield. Was Van der Vaart scored. That's when Liverpool were not a great team at all. Not the sort of teams that you'd associate with Liverpool anyway. I remember one time where Liverpool had Charlie Adam and we beat them 4-0 and I think Charlie Adam himself got sent off in that game and we won 4-0. So I've never really seen us beat Liverpool. We've always been beat by them. Like, I haven't looked at the head-to-head stats, but I bet they're disgusting. So I respect Liverpool because of how I was brought up and how I was introduced into loving the sport that we all love. But then I respect it because we always get beat by them. But, if we talk about the first instinct, right? Like I said, we were lucky because the referees had an absolute shambles. You look at the first incident of the game, which is the Curtis Jones. Now, the way I looked at it is this, is that if the VAR and the officials looked at that incident in the same way it happened, so, look at it as it happened, like we all did. Because when I first saw the challenge, I thought that'd probably be a booking. The only reason that my head started thinking a little bit differently is when I saw Basuma on the floor in agony. That's when I thought, when you see them ones, you kind of think, that could be a lot worse than it is. Let's have a look at the replay. But then even for us as fans, we're looking at it in slow-mo and it looks back worse than it does. If I punch you in the face, it's like when you watch boxing. Anthony Joshua go and knock someone out. Bam, quick time. You think, that was bad. But then when they show in slow-mo, it looks 10 times worse. Like, do you remember when he knocked out Klitschko? When you looked at that in its first hit, you thought, whew, that must have been a bad punch. But then when you saw it in slow-mo, it's like, right, like you see all the veins coming out his neck. His head nearly fell off his neck. Do you know what I mean? So they shouldn't be slowing it down. But then we've all become accustomed to the fact that that's what they do. And you know, when the referee goes over to the monitor, I don't see the point of them doing that, because it's a cheap way of them getting away with the fact that this decision is going to be overturned. I personally feel that the VAR look at that decision and they say to him, look, that's a red card, mate. But what we'll do, just to make it look all right for us, is to go over to the screen. And when they go over to the screen, it just prepares everyone for what's going to happen. I think I've seen it once where they've gone onto the screen and remained with the same decisions. Do you know what I mean? Like, referees need to have a bit more balls, but I think that's their way of getting away with decisions that they balls up and stuff. But if we go back to the challenge, what it is that when you look at it, like the way I play football, I'm very competitive. You know, people that know me again know that when I play football, I've always been a defensive-minded player, so tackling is very important to me, and I'm quite tough with it. Now, if I was Basuma or Curtis Jones and I was on the end of one of them challenges, I'd be like, it was a naughty one, but we're both going for the ball. Do you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't expect the player to be sent off, right? However, everyone in football knows when you slow it down, and we've looked at challenges in the past, when you slow it down and you start doing all that madness, he's going off. And you start saying to yourself, actually, maybe it was a red card. You know, the proverbial orange card is what they'd say. If there was an orange card, that would be a perfect scenario, because I don't believe that Curtis Jones did that intentionally. He was trying to win the ball. He was trying to protect himself. Yes, he was running a bit quick, but they're athletes, man. What do you want them to do? Walk into a challenge. They're going to be running into it. But then by the letter of the law, which they've presented to us, which is a mad law in itself, but it is the law, the guy's going to get sent off. Do you know what I mean? His foot's above the ball. Fair enough, it slipped, but when your foot was above, kind of above the ball before that, right? Now, when I say this, it's not because it favours Tottenham. If Liverpool were playing Man United or Liverpool were playing Fulham, I would have said the same thing. Now, if you look at Aubameyang, I don't know if you guys remember, Aubameyang was playing for Arsenal, Crystal Palace away, I think it was, at Selhurst Park. The guy goes into a challenge like that. All he does is hangs his leg out a little bit just to say, you know what, I tried to win the tackle. Unfortunately for him, the Crystal Palace player's leg is in position where the only place that his foot is going to land is the ankle. Now, was he intentionally doing that? No. But was it above his ankle? Yes. What happened? He got sent off. Didn't see as much energy as I'm seeing now. You know, we've seen players get away with challenges. I remember Harry Kane doing the same thing in the same fixture. Horrible tackle. I remember being in the pub, having a beer, thinking, you know, they were slowing down the VAR, didn't get sent off. I was like, what? So I say the letter of the law, but it all comes down to the inconsistencies of these officials. Like, people are blaming the technology. It's not the technology, it's the people using it, you know? But when I say the letter of the law, if that's what they're sticking by, the way I look at it is this. Now, if you're a man or woman, yeah, you're walking down the road, minding your own business, someone bumps into you, starts an altercation with you, spits in your face. What's the first thing you're going to want to do? You'll probably want to smack him in the face. So for me, if someone walked up to me and spat in my face, boom, clock him in the face, jaw broken, on the floor. The guy's a mess, yeah? Now, when you look at it for common sense, the general public would all be like, nah, it deserves that, man. Like, what's he spitting in the guy's face for? Yeah? You'd be like, nah, send it off all day long. Get it, you know, he's got to be knocked out. But by the letter of the law, if the police were to watch some CCTV footage and see the guy spit in my face, but then I banged him out and he's flopped on the floor, am I getting arrested? Of course I am. Because they'll say, look, I understand that spitting in your face is disgusting, but you should have just walked away. That's what the police will say. Or they'll say, you should have called the police. Or they'll have said something stupid like that. By the letter of the law, you've fractured his jaw. He's in hospital. Got to get his jaw rewired. The police are going to arrest you. It's as simple as that. So even though that's not fair, it's the law. So that's what the way I look at it with that challenge. It's not fair. You know, like I say, an orange card, if there was one available, cool. But you know, the way that everybody's acting is as if we haven't seen challenges like that already where people have been sent off. I've seen, like I said, Aubameyang. I've also seen challenges that haven't. Harry Kane, like I said. But I remember Andy Robertson in the same fixture did that to Tanganga. They took it to VAR were like, nah, check complete, without showing us the replay. When Sky Sports shows the replay, it's pretty much, it's worse than Curtis Jones. But Andy Robertson didn't see nothing. You know, I remember last year when we played Liverpool, Jota kicked Ollie Skip in the face. Ollie Skip's probably what, 5'6", 5'7"? Kicked him square in the face, and he looked like he was ballet dancing the way he got his leg up. Referees looked at that, nothing. You know, we bring it back to 3-3. Who scores the winner? Jota. That day, I spoke to Liverpool fans. You know, I spoke to my cousin who's a diehard Liverpool fan. I spoke to my uncle, diehard Liverpool fan. I must have spoke to about 4 or 5 people that day saying, what a mad game, blah, 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 blah. Jota should have been sent off, but that's just how it goes, isn't it? These referees are dead. The Liverpool fans that messaged me, and if you're watching this, you know who you are, yeah? Why did you not have the same energy? How have we cheated? Like, you know, if Daniel Levy's paying the officials, yeah, then what happened when we went to Anfield last season then? What, did his direct debit fail or something? Do you know what I mean? Well, so it worked. Daniel Levy paying the officials worked yesterday, but it didn't work 4 months ago. I understand emotions are running high, but I don't know. Maybe I'm different because I've seen Tottenham get away with bad decisions and, you know, all sorts of stuff. But it's what it is. Whenever I get that animosity in my body, it's generally to do with the officials. It ain't nothing, you know. If that went the other way, yeah, I wouldn't be thinking Klopp's a cheater, Trent's a cheater, Van Dijk's a cheater, you know, FSG are cheaters. No, the referees are just incompetent. And that's where we need to talk about balance. The referees are just poor. That like yesterday epitomised how poor they are. Because I'm very confident if I sat down with people that I know that know the game. So if I sat down with myself, my cousin knows his football. I've got a couple of friends know their football. I've got uncles, you know, people I work with, they know their football. I'm very confident if someone said to me, pick 3 people, Nottingham Forest are playing Brentford as we speak, you lot do the VAR and we'll give you all the equipment, a little bit of training, show you how to use it. Jacob, take 3 of your mates and sit in that room and make that decision. I wouldn't even need your equipment. I've just got a TV. And I was making judgments and thinking, nah, that's not right. Which moves me on to my next issue in the game yesterday. How have the officials decided that Diaz is going to be chalked off? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was that confident when they took it to VAR that it was going to be a goal that I went upstairs to go toilet. I went to the toilet and thought, mate, we're going to have to sort it out because we're down to, you know, they're down to 10 men and they look threatening. Come back downstairs and it was like 0-0. And I was like, what? So I had to get the control, rewind it. But I didn't need the lines. I saw it and like, he's on. I didn't need the lines. If they brought the lines out, then it would have pretty much clarified that that was a goal. I didn't need them though. My eyes are clear enough. You know, you've got the lines on the pitch to establish what's going on there. And you could see Romero's leg kept him onside. Light work. So if I'm sat in the living room with 3 of my mates, we'll be like, yep, that's a goal, mate. Don't need the lines, but if you want to draw the lines out, cool. But they didn't. Absolute madness. Like, for me, they didn't even need the lines. If the technology weren't working, just watch the replay like I did and be like, that's a goal. So, do you know what I mean? The commentators, Gary Neville's there, that's a goal. Everybody knows it's a goal. But again, somehow, that goal not going in is Tottenham's fault. And I'm not saying this on all Liverpool fans. I'm just saying that if you think that Tottenham are cheating, that's wild. Because we've seen it before. Like, again, I'll go back to the same fixture. COVID. Son was onside. But the mad thing is, unlike yesterday, they drew the lines. They drew them. You see Van Dijk's back leg, Son's front leg, onside. They're like, nah, it's offside. Are Liverpool cheaters then? No, they're not. The referees are just incompetent. But it just gets rival fans going mad. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I get when people speak in emotions, because it's just one of those where people will say stuff out of the thing. And I've learned not to do that when it comes to football. Now, before VAR, referees were making errors left, right and centre. And that used to probably aggravate me a bit more. But then this is just wild. But I just get to the point where I just think it's a mixture of people being stupid. Referees are like policemen. A policeman will shoot the wrong person. They'll all look after themselves, won't they? And make sure that policeman isn't prosecuted. It's the same thing with referees, man. They'll just, don't worry about it, Dave. Don't worry about it. They're on you can hear, it's so obvious. They need to do what they do in rugby. In rugby, you'll have the geezers at Stockley Park and the ref, and you can hear them going, yeah, mate, trod on his head, send him off, sin bin. You'll hear it clear as day. So you're there drinking your beer thinking, well done, lads, that's what I was thinking about. But these guys here are like, for all they know, they could be talking to themselves. They could be talking to their missus, what we're having for dinner. You don't know what they're talking about. But, it just gets, it's so annoying and so apparent that these people are incompetent. And we're so used to it that rival fans are now going, yeah, you're cheating or you're paying the refs. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with these people being incompetent and inconsistent. Because like I say, the challenge yesterday, we all look at that and go, they're going to give it. But it's because they're consistently ruining the game. You know what I mean? Like, if we can't challenge like that, you get these crucial battles, Curtis Jones and a Basuma, they're going to crunch. North London derbies, they're going to crunch. Liverpool, Everton, Man City. These are games where you wanted the blood and thunder. They're just taking the blood and thunder out of it. But, like I say, when it comes to that challenge, debatable. The goal is ridiculous. That's just balmy. And these officials are getting paid, I don't know how much money, to get that wrong with how many screens? I've got one screen. Sometimes I watch these things on my phone. I'll be on the train watching a Champions League game, Liverpool, Besiktas or something. And they'll be like, oh, don't know if that's a red card. Don't know if that's offside. I'm on my iPhone and I'm like, nah. How is it that you've got 4 HD, whatever screens, Ultra HD, and you don't know how to make these decisions? It's mad. And then when it goes to decision, you're thinking, right, that's the end of the story. They go again, don't they? Now, when you look at Diego Jota, I'm a mixed bunch with that, because with the first yellow card, absolutely bonkers. I don't get that. Like, when I watched that, I remember thinking to myself, in quick terms, it looked like he tripped him up. Why? Because he was just there. But when you slow it down, he didn't even touch him. His knees have clashed together, stacked it. And that happens in football. But it's like, the referee, for some reason, he's guessed at that, because he can't have seen the contact because there wasn't any. There might be people saying it's slight knee contact. I'm telling you, man, when you're running at full pelt, you ain't going to do that. Those things happen. I've stacked it before, just like Udoji did. It happens. But then the referee's booked him. So in that respect, again, just like the previous two decisions, I have a bit of sympathy for Liverpool. Because, if we go to Curtis Jones, sympathy, because we've seen them given, we've seen them not given. But then, again, it's happened for Liverpool fans against us. It's happened for Tottenham fans against you. Harry Kane should have been sent off. Andy Robertson against Tanganga should have been sent off. Weren't given. Balance. Do you know what I mean? The likelihood is we'll go to Anfield and do the same thing. And what will it be called? Karma. You know how it goes. When you look at Jota yesterday, that yellow card shouldn't have happened. But again, he was stupid for making that tackle, even though he shouldn't have got the yellow card. But again, when I say about football karma, should Jota have got sent off at Anfield last season? Yes. He kicked my man in the head and scored the winner. I felt sick after that game, even though we'd had the worst season ever. That was horrible. But did I go mad? No. Did I go mad at Liverpool fans? No. It's more like the referees. What are you doing? Karma. You got sent off when you shouldn't have, but you should have got sent off in the game, prior fixture. So, but again, it's just stupid, It's not tit for tat, which I shouldn't be doing. I'm finding myself getting drawn into it when I shouldn't. He shouldn't have been booked. You know, and then I feel that, you know, I could see it in the Liverpool ranks. Frustration, and I hear it, you know. I remember there was one time when they were down to 9 men and they got a corner and you could see Van Dijk and Matip proper punching fists, and you could see the Liverpool fans were loving the fact that Liverpool were resilient, because honestly, I don't think that many teams in this league will go down to 10 men and still dominate the chances and go down to 9 men and stop a team that are on form like ours scoring. You know, it's a shame for them that Matip was the one who scored the goal for them. But, you know, realistically, they shouldn't be down to 9 men because of the first booking. But then Diego Jota should be like, right, I'm on a yellow. We've already been down to 10. You know, I've seen it before. I remember there was one time where we played, I think we played Arsenal, and we're 2-0 up, cruising. You know, everybody, Harry Redknapp's like, everybody switch on. Within a matter of seconds, Adebayor just goes, don't worry about it. Takes out Fabregas. See you later, mate. We lost 5-2, I think, or 5-3. It's all about mindset, you know. I think if Diego Jota had kept his mind there and they had 10 men, they were still threatening with Jota, Salah, and I think it was Diaz at some point. And I feel that when they were down to 10 men, I always felt that if they brought on Núñez with 10 minutes to go, they would have done what they did to Newcastle. But then he got himself sent off. So, you know, in the round, the referees were just stinking out the place. You know, I haven't even watched Match of the Day yet, but I'm sure there'll be somewhere, you know, in the Arsenal game against Bournemouth, or, you know, Man United against Palace, there'll be another talking point there. Right now, there shouldn't be talking points. It should be, right, we had the talking points 2 years ago. We've understood what we need to do. Now let's implement this and let the football be the football. You know, you shouldn't be watching vicious tackles in slow-mo. If you want to watch them in slow-mo, watch them in fast-mo first, right? If it gets to the point where yellow cards are debatable, what I think should happen is just like in tennis. If it's yellow cards, a few challenges. So, you know, that one there, Klopp would have gone, I challenged that. They would have watched it and seen Udogie tripped himself up, no booking. And then if he did whatever he did, fair game. But they won't do it because the referees are out to protect themselves. The referees aren't out there to make the game better. If they want to make the game better, we would be applauding it. And, you know, there's only a handful of referees that I look at and think, you still make mistakes, but I'm all right with it. You know, your Michael Olivers. I'm all right with Mike. The rest of them are just bonkers. They're not up to the grade. And for me, I feel that, you know, maybe Liverpool fans are right in the fact that there could be people getting paid off, because you do see some of these decisions for the bigger clubs and think, like, how have you decided that? Like, like yesterday, how's the equipment just not working? And if it's not working, I agree with Klopp that game should have been paused. It's like, you know, like when the equipment ain't working at the beginning and the referees are all playing around with the wires, what happens? It gets to the point where they delay the game 15 minutes. The fans have got to wait. They go down and have another beer because they know it's a 15, 20-minute delay. Now, I'm not saying delay the game, but if the equipment's not working, but you've got the video footage, sort the technology out and have a look at it. 10-minute delay. We would have added the 10 minutes on to the end of the game because they're doing that anyway. So just take a pause. But they won't, because they're all to protect themselves. It's like the explanation to how they've got that wrong. They don't care. You know what I mean? They release a statement straight away. Now, if it gets to the point where you made a mistake like that, whoever was in the box, whoever was on the pitch, you all need to be suspended for a couple of months. Get yourself into League One, because that's ridiculous. You know, like I say, we can all do the tit for tat. We can all say, you know, Liverpool have had decisions against Tottenham, which they have. You know, I've mentioned you had the handball in the Champions League. Fine. All these decisions, though, if they were happening in the last minute, then let's all have the uproar. You know, if Liverpool scored that goal 91st minute and they've chalked that off, I fully understand. But what you got to remember is that they scored that and there was still, 70 minutes of normal play, plus you added, and you're talking another 80 minutes worth of football. It could have changed the game, because Liverpool could have come out second half and scored again. And then what? We're 2-0 down to 10 men. Then they can set up the banks of fours. But, you know, it's just... What we got to do is what we all agreeance of is the fact that we hate VAR. We all hate it, right? So instead of going tit for tat and going against each other, you've got to stand up against it and understand that it's these referees and these officials that are making mistakes, and it's not the managers and the players. You know, if Tottenham and Liverpool or whatever are cheats, that's through diving. That's through time wasting. You know, all that stuff there. But then again, you can call it cheats, but the officials are there to make sure that doesn't happen. So if there's time wasting, book them, add the time on. If it's a dive, book them, add the time on. Do you know what I mean? They're there to make sure that these games are policed properly, and they're not. So, you know, it will get to the point where we've got Luton next week, and, you know, someone like, you know, I don't know, man, Kulusevski tackles someone, sent off. But what will happen? There'll be Liverpool fans going, oh, that's karma. Arsenal fans going, Tottenham are cheats. But it's like, no, this is the state of the game. People that are at the top end of the chain, let's say, need to iron these issues out and understand that it's not the fans, it's not the managers, it's not the chairmen, it's not the players, it's the technology being used by a load of idiots. That's all I wanted to say, because, you know, VAR ruined a very good game. I'll be honest with you, if it was 11 versus 11, the way Liverpool started and even played with 10 men, we probably would have lost. But at the same time, what people need to understand, especially Liverpool fans that message me, and I'm not going to name shame them, but you know who you are, it's like they're expecting me not to celebrate because the referee done them dirt. Like, no, like I said, I want Tottenham to win by hook or by crook. Now, I don't want violence. I don't want smoke. I want a good game, but I want Tottenham to win. I don't put the telly on hoping that we'll lose. I want us to win. And to be honest, we needed those decisions to win, because 10 men, I still was scared. 9 men, we couldn't score. Matip scored for us. So it's like, real recognise real. You know, if you're watching this video and you were the one sending me these messages, you'll probably apologise after that, because I didn't want no smoke with you. Like I said, my label for my video was, we got lucky. I went on Facebook and Twitter saying, we got lucky, but I'll take that. Wake up in the morning, nah, Jake, you lot are cheats. Nah, Jake, you lot are paying officials. Nah, Jake, that's all you can do. Nah, Jake, I hate Tottenham. But I had the same frustration as you lot last season at Anfield. Was I messaging you saying I hate Liverpool? Was I messaging you saying Liverpool are cheats? Was I messaging? No. I was saying, how did Jota not get sent off? The referee's incompetent. When you lot won the Champions League, when it literally hits Sissoko in the breast, what was I saying? The decision ruins the game. You know, Liverpool probably would have gone on to win that anyway, but who knows? Do you get what I'm saying? It's you know, when you look at that, if that's like me saying, if they didn't give that penalty in the Champions League final, Tottenham would have gone on to win the game, because that's the energy that I'm getting from the Liverpool fans that are messaging me, because Diaz scored, would have won the game. Decisions do change games, but who makes those decisions? It ain't Tottenham, it's the ref. That's all I need to say. All right? So we move. All I'm going to say is that to end it, is these decisions are always going to ruin the game. The referee's not going to change, because they're all out for themselves. And we just got to understand that in the grand scheme of things, there isn't a team in the Premier League that can say that VAR has gone completely against them and for others. Because I've seen Liverpool get the decisions. Man United have got the decisions with VAR and without VAR under Fergie. I've seen Arsenal get them. I've seen Chelsea. I've seen Brentford. I've seen Tottenham. I've seen all clubs get them. You know, if I look at my club, we played Sheffield United. James Maddison's get tripped up in the box. Should have been a penalty. Did we get it? No. But then when Man United came to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and Bruno Fernandes has that shot and Romero saves it like a keeper, should have been a penalty. Didn't. But then Arsenal got the same decision in the North London derby with the same character. It's just inconsistency, and it's nothing to do with me, the players, or the owners, or the managers. So just a bit of balance, guys. You know, there's going to be a time where I'm going to be in uproar with a decision, but I promise you, I will find the balance, because there's not worth the stress when you've got people like John Moss running things. All right? Have a blessed Sunday. God bless. Love you all. And look out for midweek, where I'm going to do another video on only fools and Tottenham. Love. Jacob on the one up top.